And I get this question a lot. I've had a bankruptcy or I've had a foreclosure. Can I buy a home? Or how long do I have to wait? What does that mean for me? Well, let me tell you. So, does a bankruptcy mean that you're done, you're toast, you can't buy a house? No, it doesn't mean that. But there is a waiting period if you're trying to do either an FHA or a conventional loan. So if you have had a bankruptcy, let's talk about a Chapter 7 where you just discharge all the debts at once and then you don't pay those debts anymore. They're just discharged, gone. You have to wait, if you want to do a conventional loan, 4 years. Unless you've had extenuating circumstances that fit the guidelines for a shorter 2-year period of time, the norm, the average, what we always see, really everybody falls into that 4-year waiting period for conventional. How about FHA? What does FHA say? FHA says 2 years. You can wait 2 years and then you can buy a home with a FHA loan after a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. So what should you be doing after bankruptcy to prepare yourself to be able to buy a home and get a mortgage? Well, after a bankruptcy, one of the first things you need to be thinking about, it almost seems counterintuitive. You just had all this debt. You needed to discharge it due to some sort of a significant credit event in your life. Could be a loss of job for an extenuating period of time, could be an illness, could be loss of a spouse. There's many reasons people need to do a bankruptcy. But let's just say that's happened and now you're thinking, better days ahead, looking in the rearview mirror, let's get this behind us. How do we move forward? Well, one of the first things you need to do, again, counterintuitive but very important, is start thinking about establishing new good credit. Well, how do you do that after you've just had a bankruptcy? Who's going to lend somebody any kind of credit after bankruptcy? Well, you would be surprised. There are plenty of banks out there that offer a secured credit card, and it's very important that you do that. So what you would want to do is get a secured credit card, and if you want more information on that, you can comment below and we'll send you info. But basically, you put money into an account, like a savings account. That's the collateral for the credit card. So as an example, let's say you put $300 into this savings account. You get a credit card with a $300 limit. You can't touch your money. That's the collateral. And the best thing to do is charge every month just a little bit, do your groceries or gas or whatever it is, and then pay that thing down to maybe $10. Don't pay it all the way down. So that's also a misnomer. People think, oh, pay it off. That's good. No, you want to carry a little balance on there. $5, $10. But what the bureaus see is the ability to maintain credit, charge it, and pay it down. Charge it, pay it down, and pay it timely. Keep your balances low, typically 30% or lower of the available credit limit. The other thing is you can get an installment loan. You would be surprised. There are many of car dealers out there that will do a very high interest rate installment loan. Not the best idea in the world, but if you're able to get that loan and then pay it off quickly, or you have some funds and you want to get a vehicle but then turn around and pay it off versus keeping that high interest rate loan, then you can do that. You might be thinking, well, if I just had a bankruptcy, how would I have cash to pay that car off? Well, you just got rid of all your debt. So now maybe your income is sufficient to pay a little bit ahead on that car. And if you are able to, I would recommend you do it. Another thing that you should be thinking about when you've just had a bankruptcy is really sitting down and creating a good, sound budget. You need to be thinking about, what can I afford per month for a housing payment? What is safe? What is good? Just because lenders allow you to go up to 45% of your gross income on a conventional loan, or even 55% on an FHA loan, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should be doing that. I mean, think about it. What if your income per month, hypothetically, is $5,000 a month gross? Well, after taxes, you're not walking with $5,000 a month. You're probably walking with $3,500 or $3,800 or whatever. Then after that, you have to pay your rent, or in this case, a new mortgage payment, a car payment, insurance, groceries, gas, phone bill, medical bills. I mean, the list goes on and on. You need to sit down and do a budget. They say a safe, good number really to kind of shoot for is really don't have your housing payment be more than maybe 26 to 30% of your income, of your gross income. Now, again, some people might have more other bills than housing than other people. And that's why doing that budget is really important. Because if you have no other bills, maybe you can go a little bit higher on your housing. Just depends. But leave room for having a life. Nobody wants to be house poor. It always seems great when you're in love with the home and you get emotional and you're out there and you make an offer and you shouldn't have and now you're stuck, right? So it's always best to do this on paper, way ahead of walking into a home where you're emotional and you might make a very rash, not smart decision down the road. So just had a bankruptcy, start building new credit, create a budget, stick to your budget, and start saving for your next phase of life, your next stage, which is hopefully looking to maybe buy a property. And how do you save money when before it seems like you never had enough? What can you do different? How do you change your behaviors? Well, there's a lot of things you can do. I mean, some of them are very basic. You hear it all the time. Don't get coffee out every day. Make coffee at home, right? Pack your lunch for work. Up your deductibles on your dependents on your paycheck. So maybe you don't have as much taxes taken out every single paycheck that the IRS holds. Maybe you hold more of that money. Maybe you do have them hold and you save your tax refund. Maybe you get a roommate and you start stashing some cash away. So instead of paying rent for just you in your apartment, you get a roommate or two and you guys split it and you save some money. Maybe you start cooking more and you don't eat out at night every night, like you used to do. Maybe you start doing the library instead of buying other types of entertainment that you actually have to pay for. The library is the best free thing out there that I think people have forgotten about. Go to the library, get a library card and rent a book. Save yourself some money. Another thing that you can do to save money is sell things. You'd be amazed what people will pay. What do they say? One person's trash is another person's treasure. So you might have a fortune sitting in your, storage room or whatever in boxes. Go through your junk, figure out what you can get rid of and start selling some things. That can help you save some money. That's your path after bankruptcy, right? You're going to start establishing new credit. You're going to create a budget. You're going to start saving more money than you used to save. You should always, out of your paycheck, every single time, put a little bit in savings, a little bit in the fun fund, and the rest should be for bills. And lastly, stop using credit cards other than, like we said, if you're establishing new credit, just get a few and only charge the essentials, your gas, your groceries, and pay it off every month. Stay off. I won't say, starts with an A, the big A, Amazon, right? I will say. I mean, it's so easy. They send you these commercials, on your Facebook, on your social media, and it's like, oh, I'd love to have a new chair. All I have to do is press, and there it shows up at my house. Well, guess what? You have to pay for that. So watch yourself on social media, impulse buying. If you find yourself in the mood to buy, go for a run, go for a walk, do something different, read a book. Anyway, Michelle.oddo, the Oddo Group, Illuminate Home Loans. We want to help you get into the next stage of life. If you've had a bankruptcy, there's hope. There's a new beginning. It doesn't last forever. It's a short period of time. Use it wisely. Get ready so that the next stage, buying your next home, is a reality.